Someday I wanna wear a star.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine one morning as we were heading to class, and he told me that he had lost his motivation for college. Um, and myself, I have been through that position before, and I know that many of you might be in a similar situation as well. Not for only for college, but for other things as well in life. So if that's the case, then I think that you should hear this. When you're interested in something and you decide to go after it, you're gonna have to make sacrifices, right? Um, in order to get somewhere you love, you're gonna have to do things that you hate. For example, I'm not interested in all the lessons in class. I'm not interested in all the lessons in college. But in order for me to become a physical therapist, I have to attend all of these lessons. And not only that, but also perform the best that I can at them. So when you're interested in something, everyone has something that they don't like, they hate it, but they have to do it in order to get somewhere bigger, in order to get somewhere that they love. And we always say and we always hear, whatever you do, you gotta love it. Um, to me, that's a bit bullshit. You don't always have to be motivated. Sometimes uh, discipline has to take over. Sometimes you just have to push through. We usually get this feeling of losing interest, and to me, that's because we think short term. These milestones that we're chasing right now and that we hate, in reality, they got nothing to do with what we're going to be doing in the future. We have to expect losing interest as part of the game when we're chasing something bigger. For example, let's say that you want to become a real estate investor. You're going to have to make money first, right? You're going to have to create a fund. So you're working 3 jobs to make some money. At some point, you're going to lose interest. You will not want to go to work, but you just have to push through that feeling, man. The future holds something completely different. Let's talk about hobbies. Hobbies, we just do them because we love them. We're not trying to reach any certain level. Let's say that you play basketball once a week because you really love it. If you try to make a living out of basketball, now you have to work really hard. You have to get better at it. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. And that's when you're gonna start having these days where you really question if that's what you really want to do. You know, it's not that you don't love it. It's just that when something becomes a hustle, when something becomes um, something you have to be really good at, bad days and things that you hate come with it. That's just the way it goes. This is why a lot of people are unable to commit and unable to stick to a career because they just stop halfway through. They don't push through this feeling of losing interest. Now, if you're still watching, there's a big chance that you are in this situation. There's a big chance that you have lost interest for your hustle. So, interest will come back, okay? I have been in that position before so many times. And me personally, there are 3 things that help me get that interest back. So I might as well share them with you. Number 1 is having a reason. Having an answer to the question, why am I still doing it? Why do I do this? This answer to that question will be this little reminder that you are still on the right track when you get these days of losing interest and questioning yourself. Way number 2 is expecting loss of interest, right? When you expect it, it makes it much easier to deal with. It makes it much easier when you're knowledgeable that it will come. Number 3, the last one and the one that has helped me personally the most is action. I actually overcome loss of interest with action. A lot of times I might get caught up with all these projects that we have to do for college, and I might lose interest for physical therapy in general. But when I get to apply actual therapy to someone, this is when I get a true realization of how much I love doing it. However, this is not the case for everyone, right? Our interests and our passions change as we grow. I made a video about this a long time ago. If your answer to that question doesn't touch you anymore, if that reason does not touch you anymore, then you should probably take another direction. You know, I guess it all comes down to understanding in what position you're in, understanding if you should move on or you should just push through, you know. And we fear change, but sometimes the right thing to do is just to destroy and then rebuild. And I gotta leave because it's getting way too dark out here. But yeah,